good job. One of them had to win.
Well, it was a nice match by Post, another state champ for Brady Beacon, the Hill City Ringneck. Post, just a sophomore, as he picks up the first win of the tournament. Again, in third place at 103 was Sewell of Caney Valley, and Smith of Hoisington took fifth in this tournament. So let's move on to the 112-pound weight class. Again, we'll keep you appraised of the team situation as we go. This is 112, Fred, and it's a good one. It's going to be Jason Wheatley of Immaculata. He's a senior. And for the Stafford Trojans, Jason Walton, the sophomore.
Right, Wheatley is the defending state champ at 103. Qualified for state the year before that. Came out here last year and won it. He's already scored his takedown. He's looking for that cradle and trying to get Walton over on his back early in the match and get it over with. Walton, of course, coming out of the Stafford program. Over the years, they've always had good wrestlers. They've never been a state power, but they've always had they're good individuals, and it looks like Walton is one of those.
Yeah, again, Jason Walton is in the red. He's going to be in the 4-point position on the floor as he tries to step out. Jason Wheatley in the green, the powerful wrestler, the defending state champ, or I should say a returning state champ for 103. He picked up a few pounds.
Now he's just about as skinny as he was last year, though. I think he just probably grew a little bit. And there he's lost the reversal, so we've got a tie score. Walton did a good job on that switch.
So again, it's 2-2 with minute 15 left in this first period. And state championship wrestling from Gross Memorial Coliseum. Boy, you can't beat this. This is what these guys work for. And again, the fans work for it too, I think.
Now Walton was going for the fall there, trying to chicken wing and turn it into a fall, and Wheatley just almost reversed him out of it. Walton still got his half Nelson in there and still driving for it, but he's got to be careful. If he drives too hard, he's liable to get rolled right on through, and that's something he doesn't want to happen.
So the trick in wrestling then is to counter a move if you can. If you overpower, sometimes you can put yourself in a hurt position.
It's a sport that requires controlled activity at all times. I mean, you can go in there and power a man, but if you power him too far, just like he's had these cradle locked up there and was trying to turn, and Wheatley turns it into a reversal.
That's a mark of a veteran wrestler, if you can say that for an 18-year-old, but he is. He's been to state 3 times.
Yeah, I would imagine that Jason probably wrestled a lot of summer freestyle wrestling too, and that because I know that Will Leavenworth program, there's a lot of kids who do that.
Again, Wheatley, 27-6, coming in from Immaculata for the Raiders. He's a senior. Took second at the Effingham Regional. Jason Walton, a Stafford Trojan, a sophomore. Again, third place at the Hoisington Regional.
Walton's just used a stand up there. He's got up and he's got the distance. But Wheatley's been able to hang on to the leg and cause a stalemate so that they can get a fresh start down on the mat without losing any points.
Again, it's 4-2. The wrestler from Leavenworth Immaculata, the senior, Wheatley, looking for his second state title in 2 years, out in front 4-2 as we tick down in this first period with 10 seconds left.
Jason's trying to join a kind of an elite club there, looking for that second state title. Immaculata lays claim to Chris Boland, who was a 3-time state champ a few years back, and went on to the University of Oklahoma and placed 3rd in the NCAA, and right now is working out for the Olympics. And I believe Jason would be their first multiple state champion since him.
Boy, that's some tradition there. As we said, we talked about Western Kansas tradition, but some quality wrestlers from the state of Kansas that go on to do quite a few good things. Again, the toss won, and it's going to be Walton on top.
Now, we talk about Western Kansas tradition. Most of these schools in the East have had wrestling a relatively short period of time, and they're beginning to build their own traditions. And so things may even up a little bit as we go.
Yeah, it takes time. As we said, back in the early days when the classes weren't split, Western Kansas dominated, and they split the classes into what we have it today now. And 3-2-1A arguably could be one of the most powerful classifications.
See a lot of good wrestling here, and of course Walton's got called on a potentially dangerous situation there, because if he brought that arm up much higher, it would have been illegal and might have hurt the other wrestler. So the referees are instructed to stop it at that point and keep anybody from getting hurt, and that's why they stopped that.
Usually when you bring those two hands together under the arms like that, sometimes you have a potentially dangerous situation.
That's very true. You have to be very careful in those situations.
Again, Wheatley out in front. He's the guy in green, the green singlet. He's on the bottom. He's up 4-2, and that's the way we've been for a few minutes. Just a minute left in the second period.
I tell you, if he weren't as flexible as he is, he'd have been in deep trouble there, but that flexibility paid off for him and got him a reversal again. Most boys would have been over on their back in that situation because Walton had that arm barred, and he had that half Nelson in there deep and was driving it. But Wheatley's just so doggone flexible that he was able to slip out of that and turn it into a reversal.
6-2, Wheatley out in front of the sophomore from Stafford, Jason Walton. In the second period, 40 seconds left.
Wheatley's in pretty good shape right now. He's got him tied up pretty tight. He's got him in a situation where he can kind of step out to the side and work for the pin if he wants to. Or with only 27 seconds left, he might not get too excited about that fall.
Wheatley getting here had a fall in the first round, and he picked up an 8-4 win over Torres in the second round. Torres from Leota. And then he had a win over Garcia, that a fall. Garcia again from Lyons. So Wheatley's had an impressive tournament.
Again, Wheatley there trying the double chicken wing, driving for the fall, has almost lost a reversal. He's able to hang on to that leg, though, and prevent it so far. And we got a reversal right at the buzzer. But Wheatley wins it. No, Wheatley maintains his lead 6-4. We still have a period of wrestling to go.
2 more minutes. Again, the periods go to twos. Again, a nice move. The official just waiting there, and it looked like Walton ran out of time. Maybe he could have parlayed that into a few more points. And as you said, Wheatley holding on, and got quite a match between the senior and the sophomore. Again, 6-4. Wheatley out in front over the sophomore, Walton from Stafford.
Yeah, and Walton's trying to curl up inside, get inside those legs, and see if he can maintain some kind of a control situation. Of course, Wheatley locking up his cradle because that's about his only choice in that situation, and get his leg out of there. And if he can get that cradle locked up and get his leg free, then he's back in the driver's seat again.
It's kind of difficult sometimes to tell who's in the driver's seat when you're watching wrestling because it's a little deceptive.
Yeah, sometimes the steering wheel isn't where you thought it was. But Wheatley's still hanging on there. I wouldn't give you a whole lot for his position right now, but he is still on top. There he's going back for the near fall. If he can drop that back a little bit lower, he'll gain a couple of points. You see the referee counting right now. He's counted for the 3-point near fall, so Wheatley's going to at least score 3 points, even if he loses something here.
A minute left in this last period. He's up 6-4 without these points yet. They'll be awarded in just a second.
Yeah, those points are not to be awarded until after the situation is ended. Now there goes up to 3 points, and Walton gets his reversal, but Wheatley still gained a point in that situation.
So a nice job by Wheatley. He got riding time, or I should say near fall points. Again, he couldn't pin him, but you get points for putting somebody close to the mat.
There he goes with that old flexibility again. Snake that inside arm through, and there he is on top.
Well, he is quick.
Walton's experience is hurting him here because he's trying things that he normally tries on people, but when with somebody as long and thin and flexible as Wheatley is, sometimes those things don't work.
Kind of backfires again. 16, 15, and only 10 seconds stands between a championship for Jason Wheatley and a second place finish for Jason Walton. 11-6, Wheatley out in front, and as you said, his experience and strength and flexibility, he just wrestled just a plain smart match at this point.
Yes, he has. He's made a few mistakes, but they haven't cost him dearly.
I think he probably thought he could take a few chances maybe against the younger wrestler, and he gave up 6 points, but just felt he could outscore him.
As I recall him from the last 2 years, he's just a take-a-chance kind of wrestler, too.
Man, it's paid off for this guy.
You know, if you're not willing to take a chance, sometimes you're not going to win it.
There it is. He holds his hands up, and he does pick up the win. The final, 11-6. Again, our champion at 112 pounds is Jason Wheatley, and on the season, he'll go to 28-6. And for Jason, boy, that's his second state championship in a row. He won at 103 pounds last year. And again, he gets another gold medal. And to the second place wrestler, Jason Walton, Trojan from Stafford, he takes his record to 33-6. So a nice job. And again, as we get ready for the next weight class, we'll mention that Torres from Leota took third, and in fifth place was Garcia from Lyons, we should mention. Also, McCullough from Immaculata took fourth in this tournament. Something we might want to mention as they make the award presentations is that there's a bit of a change in the structure of this tournament, isn't there? They wrestle the consolation of the back door a little bit differently. They're awarding a few more medals this year.
Yeah, the coaches have finally prevailed upon the KSHSA 8 to award 6 places in the state tournament. They've always felt for years that the boy works that hard and gets that far, and he's 1 match away from the third place match. they deserved a shot at 5th and 6th. And so finally this year they put that in, and they wrestled for 6th places. It allows for a little more scoring.